Happy Tuesday. How is everyone? Jump on, say hi. We hope that the links are working. So we're going to give it a moment just to make sure that it's all working. We last minute noticed a few things. So technology, yay. No, really, it's a great thing because it gives us opportunities to do things like this. Just sometimes there's a little bit of, nuance and hiccups and things like that. How are you guys? So I'm so excited because here in Kiwi Lane, right? In the lane of Kiwi, we are focusing this month, April. We just have so many fun things ahead of us. We have, of course, the featured sets, which are classic. You can't go wrong with them. We have the club, the Kiwi Club, which is Prehistoric Memories, right? Prehistoric Memories. And I will just say that club members, right? We often do this Tuesday tip day, but we decided to kind of broadcast it to show everyone just how great the Kiwi Club is. I mean, maybe that's a little biased of me, but it really is. But also how fun this month's kit is. I hope you guys are excited. Actually, this concept, this idea was pulled from your guys' feedback. And I will say, I was like, okay, I mean, like lots of people want, this kind of theme and these kind of color palettes. You guys mentioned like oranges and blues. And I thought, okay, well, let's merge those feedbacks together. And we created what you see here in this kit, which is just adorable. I will say, just adorable. But I really wasn't sure myself, like what I was going to create with it and all of that stuff. But then, of course, I got on my phone and started to just search like keywords like dinosaur, simple enough. And all these memories started to flood back of pictures and moments I have not scrapbooked that I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to actually scrapbook those. I'm trying to find like just, right? These beautiful, beautiful colors and patterns. Looks a little brighter in this picture, but it is fun. It is colorful and they're really, really cute. Now, I will say it's not just like dinosaurs, even though it's literally dynamite. Is that what the dynamite, right? So many puns we could pull on for dinosaurs. But, just like in the Kiwi Club. So if you get the Premiere, you get the paper and the templates, right? You're familiar with this. And also the corresponding digital dip book that is super helpful too. Right? And it's just packed full of inspiration and then those tips. So we're going to dive into some of these tips and really pull on these inspirations that are at our fingertips, right? As club members to help us to pull out our supplies and to consistently reminisce, but also play to create, right? In our scrapbooking from start to finish. So just so many fun tips and ideas inside of this digital book. There's like so many. Like we can't go over all of them, but definitely check out the PDF. It's well worth it as a club member, plus sketches, plus the events in and themselves. You just can't go wrong with that. Okay, let me go ahead and remove that. There we go. I will say for me, the page that I had initially did, I really wanted to do a non-dinosaur layout. And so I did this page of my son and I don't know, with 4 girls and 1 son, in my case, it was just fun to kind of go back and, create this more, I guess you could say boyish layout, but just a really fun, playful layout. And he is growing. He is totally at this next phase of life where you see them transition so much between, teenage to young adults. And it's just like from toddler to kid, like there's just these phases of life that just happen so rapidly before you even know it. It's like a big blur. So let's dive into it. Let's pick up a few tips from this PDF. Let's quickly put together a layout with this year, of course, Kiwi Club being less overthinking and more creating, right? Actually, as the community as a whole here at Kiwi Lane, just kind of, what does that really mean, right? What does it really mean, less overthinking? Because there's a lot of times that we'll say like, oh, it takes me a long time scrapbooking, but is it always overthinking or is it just enjoying the process, right? But I do think there are some key things that we do overthink. And I just want to kind of share a quick layout, we'll see, right? Of diving in and dissecting, really utilizing the PDF, pulling on those tips, along with those layout designs, and really in this Tuesday tidbit, really seeing how that all comes together, right? That there doesn't have to be much overthinking. We can pull from one tip. Just even one tip will be a springboard for inspiration. All right, so let me go to an overhead here. Oh, and I will say this as well. We have let's put that up, Dave, if you don't mind. We're doing another offer because a lot of people are emailing in saying like, I missed the deal last month with the signing up for Kiwi Club. Well, for 3 days, guys, just for 3 days, we're offering it again on the Premiere only. I texted it to you, Dave. Premiere only for $10 off. Just use Dynamite. Okay, it's like the word we're using in the community right now. Dynamite in that. Hold on, my video is flipped. This is backwards. It's showing backwards. How do I change that?
What do you mean?
This is the right side and that's the left side.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, you're showing it fine.
Yeah.
Oh, my screen is left, right. I've never seen that before. It's throwing me off. Well, if I'm backwards to you, hello Tuesday, right?
Tuesday morning.
Okay, so when I talk about tips, right? Like here are a few tips that we have that I just love. There's so many great ways to create with the dinos. And from this fun design that's in that digital idea book, right? Just to get a little example of what those ideas are in the digital idea book as club members. And I will say one of the things that stood out right away with how Deborah approached her dinosaurs is you could see in the legs, she did the back legs kind of like a shadow contrast. So a darker blue with the lighter blue, and the same down in the orange with a darker red with that orange. And so I just thought that was really great. And then of course, along with that, I really thought this was a great tip. We're going to go over this stenciling on the back of your backgrounds and stitching that in the PJ Playdate. So that the upcoming event for Kiwi Club members only, I plan to tackle that. And I think it's going to be really fun, but of course, very simple approach to some fun details like that you can use. So really quickly, I wanted to go back and let's create a dino together. I already have this laid out. Actually, when I say less overthinking, like this sketch right here, I just pulled on that, which is going to work for me because like I said, when I dived into what pictures on my scrapbook, I found all these pictures, totally forgot about them from a current, park experiences that we had. And this one, I don't know if you guys ever done this, but it's like, they come in and they just say, oh, we're going to take your picture. But then the dinosaur kind of scares you behind you. So that's what and they just snap pictures like a prank. And I honestly, maybe I shouldn't have told you guys that so you would have been pranked, but if you weren't aware of it, but I had no idea. So I was freaked out, as you can tell. It's kind of blurry. Can I get that close? There we go. Literally freaked out. My kids sent me this picture for Mother's Day last year because they were like, Happy Mother's Day, Mom, as we freaked out in that picture. It's kind of one of those moments you're like, who do I grab? Which kid? Which one? I think David was throwing me in front of him. Were you throwing me in front of you?
Listen, I don't remember exactly, but I want to say that.
That sounds about right.
No, definitely not. Most definitely I jumped in front of you, so.
All right, guys, let's create some dinos. So we often talk about the A, B, and borders, right? But these little embellishments, we often are like, oh, is that fussy cutting or the details of it? Again, I think those of you that are so familiar with the Play to Create system know how valuable it is to pull just some basic tools out, right? Literally what you see is what I'm using here. And we are just going to create some quick little details. And I'm going to just kind of use the tips from the PDF. I need this little dino out of this. And so I do think that it's wonderful, even with the templates, that you can kind of merge and rearrange, just kind of like what you see me doing on this paper. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that over. I actually do want it in the orange. So I'm going to just trace it on the orange. Actually, I want it that way. So make sure I get my things here right. I will say this little long tail has a lot of curve to it. It works this way. But if I cut it, it will be that way. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and trace that out. I'm going to just come over here. Sometimes it's most effective, but we're going to use all this paper up. Okay, so I wanted to do this live. I thought about pre-cutting all of these out just to kind of see us decorate these dinosaurs based off of, again, some of those adorable tips in the PDF. But I wanted to just, again, reinforce that we don't have to overthink this. Right? So when you see like this dino, how adorable is that, right? In this PDF, for example, this is kind of where I'm like, I love it in orange. I even love the yellow enamel dots on the dino. It's got a simple face, maybe a little of that contrast shadow in the leg, but overall really cute. So of course, when we come to these accessories, because that's what we're focusing on today, and I just have a few on my page, detach it from your larger sheet. Of course, until I'm done with the kit, I keep every little scrap. And I will say, once I get done with the kit, I'm kind of selective on what scraps I keep after that. Usually, I'm probably like, if they're not more than like 2 inches, then I'm like, I'll toss them. But I don't toss anything until I'm completely done with a kit, because some of these little scraps like this one, see, I kept this one from my other page that I did. This was the circle that I cut out here, right? But I kept this piece because I'm like, that can easily become the shadow of the legs that we're talking about. And I always think it's good to reinforce some cutting tips. So of course, one of the cutting tips, especially with these little details, when it comes to accessorizing or embellishing your page, right? You kind of want to glide it through your scissors. Good pair of scissors, glide it through your scissors and rotate the paper, not your cutting hand. All right. So I'm kind of staying there on the back ends of my scissors, and I am rotating the paper. So I'm going to rotate that left and then kind of glide it through my scissors. Feed it through your scissors. Don't move your cutting hand necessarily. And there we go. A few minutes in, we have a nice little design element there. Of course, inking those edges will hide any of those pencils or blemishes. And then we're going to just have fun creating many different dinos. I think that's what I look forward to, just seeing all of your guys's many, many dinos. So if you don't want to miss out on the dino kit, all right, which is kind of why we decided for 3 days only to put, to allow, you could say $10 off the Premier, which is the paper and the templates. And like I said, I'm so excited to see what everyone plans to create with this kit. So that is valid through April 11th. All right. So April 11th.
Keyword dynamite.
Dynamite. Coupon dynamite. We're going to have a dynamite good time in the Kiwi Club. Now, when I was talking about, I loved how just simple details, it doesn't have to be too much. But again, we don't have to overthink it. So kind of looking here at Deborah's layout, just so fun here, pulling on her efforts, so to speak, that she already kind of played. And we can be inspired by that through this coordinated digital audiobook that comes with the Kiwi Clubs every month. And, really help simplify that process. So like I said, I have this little piece of kind of a little redder, darker orange. I think that's what she was using. But even if it's not exactly what she was using, it will work. And so I'm just going to trace those 2 back legs. Again, the smallest piece of scrap of paper can really, make a big impact as far as adding little details to your page. So I'm going to go ahead and trace and cut those out. This is more of like the fine-tuned little details, but little layers. When we say details, it's really about layers, right? And it's amazing what just a little piece of paper, whether it's flowers, whether you're creating dinosaurs, whether you're creating trees, can add to your page. Now, I will say on this, just a kind of little tip here, she did round out the belly. And so you might want to put it back down here. This is how I would approach it anyhow. I would kind of lay it back down and then just kind of follow from the tip. Here, let me pull this up a little bit. Once I have the leg portion cut out, I would lay it back down and I would go from this side of the template to the next side and just kind of fill in that line just to kind of quickly give us the shape of the body from the top. So we get that curve kind of aligned, right? Ink up our edges, give it a nice little coat for depth and dimension, but also just kind of give a nice finished look to it. And you can see, just look how fun, just that one little layer, one little contrast of a color, not too crazy. So if you're doing green, maybe you do a darker green or a lighter green, right? And you can even add a belly. Now that I'm looking at it, it could be so cute. And then even on the bottom. So simple tips, guys, simple tips like this don't have to take much. You don't have to overthink them. And they, like I said, they can really, in a way, make an impact on your overall finished touch to your pages. And so I'm just going to ink those edges again. Now, I love it because, again, I was able to pull, right? I was able to pull the inspiration from the PDF. I didn't have to go many places to find it, just download that PDF. And then also I was able to just sit down, play with my templates and my paper, and amazingly come up with a lot of those designs. Let me go ahead and adhere these pieces down on those so I don't lose them. So simple tip inside of there, you can absolutely dress up your dino. You could put the dots here. Let's show that again. The dots, you can use your enamel dots in this kind of fun way. Very cute little detail, buttons, brads. I mean, whatever you got in your stash, you can draw little doodle circles on. I also love how Mary did stripes on hers, right? So you can add some stripes to your dinos. And we're going to play with this next dino here in a moment. But you can see here, actually, Mary was inspired by her clay dino from her grandson here. Her clay dino had the yellow with the red stripes, and she just kind of mimicked that. And I thought that was so cute. But mimic or not mimic, it's really a fun way to dress up your dinosaurs in that way as well. So really quickly, once again, I want to share with this how I would approach this. Once I trace out the leg itself, I would just line it back up on my template. Okay. It's not too technical. And I would just kind of draw from one edge, one point of the template to the next. And that's going to give me my curve. And then I would just connect those. Now, I don't know how Deborah did it, but that's just kind of my natural instinct, is to kind of do it that way. And then, of course, add those layers. So same approach like with our flowers, or if you're adding little details. And again, when we say details, we're pretty much saying layers, just some simple layers with your scraps of paper in a very simple way, right? Can be really fun to add to your dino. Add some little cute dots there, a little smiley face, and you're set to go. Super fun. Actually, I love how on this sketch, I think, oh, the leg, I don't want to hide that leg, but it's so cute. I actually love how the tail kind of comes out behind a photo. So I might tuck that one in front, this one behind, and just do a clean photo lineup. I have so many pictures from those quick snapshots that I'll be printing off that I'll probably finish it up at the PJ Playdate. So mark your calendars. Join me this month. We're going to have some fun dynamite time. How many times can I say dynamite? But let's just remind you, use that coupon. If you have not signed up for Kiwi Club, 10% off the premiere, but only for 3 days only. We did this amazing lucky joint, March promo kind of thing, but a lot of you guys have been asking like, oh, I missed it. Well, you have 3 days. Join us in the Kiwi Club, and this kit will be your first kit. And along with that, you'll not only get all the muse from the new product as your muse, but you also get the events and the ideas all coordinated. And this is just a tip of the iceberg, right? Tip of the iceberg. You guys let me know what you think as Kiwi Club members. Again, these little tips. I love the design team. They're so inspiring to me as well. And I hope that you guys enjoy the inspiration that you find inside of those ideas. One last tip, guys. I want to share with you. Yay, I'm glad you caught me live too, Linda. Is just let's create one more dino. And again, because I know sometimes with embellishing, we think, oh, it has to, like that must have took you a long time. Whether cutting them out is the intimidating part, but really good pair of scissors and ink does most of the job for you. So just make sure you got that, right? We all know that. But otherwise, it really doesn't have to be too over the top. If you want to really dress it up, you totally can go all in. But for the most part, it's amazing what the paper and a few little layers, just some little layers can do to your accessorizing, embellishing components. And then of course you can use them over and over again. So we're going to cut out this dinosaur. I will say, I don't know what these names of these dinosaurs are, babe. It's been too long for me. I'm like, what is one called and the other called? I can't remember.
You have to talk to them in your life. Working on a stegosaurus right now.
Wow. Okay. See, yeah.
Stego.
What is it again? Say it again.
A stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus. You guys probably knew that. I just could not recall of it in my head. I was like, I don't know what this dinosaur is called. It's called a dinosaur. That's what it's called.
There'll be some ladies in chat, I'm sure, that love dinos.
All right, this pattern is pretty busy, and I did trace it on here. Just notice you guys aren't going to see that. So we're going to, follow Linda's fun tip is slide, flip. If there's a pattern that's too busy for you, and you can do it on the other side. So let me show you that. I do want the green because I just again was looking at. Let's see, was that Linda's page? Oh no. So Mary on this page, she did it out of green, and I just thought that was so cute. Now you'll notice here, there's a few tips. She just, again, did some fun layers on the points here. And easy enough, just like we did with the feet. So easy, little details, doesn't have to be too much. But I will say, I love the green, but then I love this little tip that Deborah did where she cut them out of the paper. So we'll quickly create that together so I can show you what I mean on that tip because it's so fun. So a slide, flip.
Which, by the way, we should turn into a line dance at some time.
We should.
We'll build a Kiwi themed line dance at some point.
I don't know if
slide flip in it.
I don't know if yeah, that would be great. A little line dance. I don't know if you guys can hear David, but he's like, we should turn that into a line dance. Maybe
also have some dino lovers
at a future Kiwi Club conference or something. We'll all do the slide, flip. I don't know how flip is gonna work, I don't want to pull out my back or anything, guys, but no, I wonder if Linda's on here.
She is.
Oh, she is.
And she knows her dinos. Big one is Brontosaurus. The pterodactyl is the flying one. Lisa also called out the stegosaurus. See?
Okay, you guys are good. You guys are so good. This is why we have each other. I will say, Linda, it's turning into a line dancing and streaming, singing and scrapbooking and dancing with scrapbooking. Why not? Life is merry, which is why we scrapbook, right? Kind of to live life twice, so to speak. Now, again, these little humps or scales or
be like
dino people. Tell me what I'm supposed to say here.
Is there a name for the things on a stegosaurus's back? Plates? Back plates?
I don't know. It's been a long time. I will not lie. Okay. Anyways, so again, guiding it through your scissors here. Like scales, but it's not really scales. It's like, That's driving me crazy. I'm sure the people that are like dino fanatics are like, oh my gosh. Listen, guys, I can't keep everything in this head of mine. I just can't. It doesn't work that way. Now, I will say it's pretty just simple to kind of glide through your scissors. The roundness of the feet and the back, they all just kind of glide through that scissors there. I didn't have to kind of get up from my space. Actually, it's the process of Play to Create is actually what makes going live not as intimidating, because I'm able to do this all live, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, that I can sit here and just create a page, right? In real life, like live time. So
Kristen says spikes. I Googled it.
okay, you Googled it? Good thing for Google, guys. Google to the rescue.
They're called dermal plates, which sounds terribly boring. So
Dermal plates?
We're going to go with spikes.
I do like spikes. It reminds me of a Spike from
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
no, the Dino movie. The Spikes from
Is it The Land Before Time?
yeah,
Like,
Land Before
back to
Time.
Land
All the
Before
way
Time.
before. Yeah, that was my sister Emily's favorite movie.
Wow, we watched that a lot growing up.
Yeah. There were so many quotes from that I'm like trying to recall in my mind. They'll come back at 3 a.m. in the morning, but
Early morning, all those memories showing up. Should keep a notebook by your bed if you're going to do that.
yeah. What is it called again? Dinos plates?
Dermal as in like
Dermal.
Dermal plates.
Dermal
At
plates.
least that's according to it.
Oh, fun.
Also, Linda is volunteering that Lee will play the guitar to the song that we write.
The slide slip. All right, guys. So here's this other great tip. It's such a, you know me, I love simple, I love fun, little details. And I will say, when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, I never would have thought of that. But just taking your scraps, again, letting your paper do your heavy lifting. This is one of the patterns. I think it's just so much fun. We're just going to use little portions of it, probably, you know, I'm just going to kind of cut them out and see how many I can get from this. And this is kind of like a little fussy cutting, but simple fussy cutting, because you're just basically cutting out those diamonds, right? Kind of cutting out those diamonds and then laying them in there. And I will say, I think, yeah, she did here. I'm going to bring this as close as I can. Let me actually, we'll just cut a piece off. So you can see here in the pattern, it has like a white edge. And then on the smaller ones, you can cut inside. So do a little bit inside the white for the smaller ones. And then you can even go down to the smallest by just doing the little inside of the first diamond. Simple enough, right? So again, just a kind of fresh reminder on simple layers with your paper to kind of dress up your embellishments, but also that when we talk about the embellishing part of your layouts, they can be a lot of fun, and you can pull a lot of that inspiration from the PDF, like really looking and saying, how did they design theirs, right? I traced it on the blue, but I forgot. I actually really loved the green. I thought it was so fun and playful. Actually, either side works. So it just depends. If you like kind of the green, no, I like the blue. I like the blue with the diamonds. What did Deborah do? Oh, she did the light blue. See? So I must have been drawn to that because blue is captivating.
It's a lovely color.
It is a lovely color.
There are many lovely colors.
It's a lovely color for sure. Can never go wrong with it. So again, pretty simple details. I mean, add a little pop-up if you want, but otherwise super easy to kind of add those little details. See, I would probably go a little smaller on this one. And I think it's just kind of easy to, well, diamonds are pretty easy. I will say diamonds, you can't go wrong with diamonds too bad. And they don't need to be perfect. I think that actually adds to the personality of that. So you can make the handmade enamel dots. Maybe Linda, we have you come on and do a tip, just
demonstration on that.
Yeah, tip just on that tip for sure. Again, there are so many tips inside of the PDF, but for today's event, I'm just kind of focusing on creating your dinosaurs with simple details, right? Really just simple details, pulling on the PDF, letting those kind of inspire you and be that muse for you to kind of start your page initially, because of course, like all things, most of the time it's just getting started that can be, well, that we can talk ourselves out of, I guess I would say. We make it feel sometimes intimidating, but it doesn't have to. So as we go forward in 2025, less overthinking, more creating, and in that, allowing ourselves to play, have fun, enjoy the process, and reap all of the rewards of not only reminiscing and this beautiful hobby with your pictures, but also combining that with creating, right? Creative bonuses and benefits that we get from just the act of creating with our hands in a tangible way really enhances all of those benefits emotionally and mentally, and like all of those health, hope, and happiness, right? All of those things that we talk about often that we creating and tangible creating really provide us in our lives. And let's just face it, we need those little moments in our lives, right? Like there's so much else going on all around us all the time. There's always so many things that are high pressure or stressful. And sometimes we just need to put the me back in free time, spend a little time doing something that you enjoy, and just reaping in those rewards to play, to create a little bit, and having fun in that process. Joe says, hello all, first time catching you on a Tuesday. You're usually working. Glad I caught you. Well, good, Joe. I'm glad too. And of course, if you catch the replay, that's a good little reminder for me to like say hi still. We understand that not everyone can catch us live, but I'm so glad that you caught us live. And hopefully you're excited to create with some dinos. Make some dynamite pages, guys. Make some dynamite pages. Now, you can see within, I don't even know how long it's been, 20 so minutes, we really created some fun, unique, customized, designs for our layouts, add a little faces. And like I said, they don't have to be too complicated. I will say you can even doodle, just simple doodling. These simple things that we often share really dress up your embellishings. Simple layers with your papers, little doodling. Those are some basic go-tos, and they work. They really do work. So, definitely utilize them. I know I do. And then honestly, after this, I can just cut my border out and my pictures, and you can see just one or two cute little embellishments, kind of setting the stage. Now, this, of course, the Play to Create process, if you're doing a Christmas page, same concept, little embellishment, little embellishment. If you're doing a dino page, little embellishment, little embellishment. They don't have to be too complicated. And then I'm just going to go add my border really fast because I can, because it's literally so fast to add this quick foundation to my layout. I think mostly I'm going to have to find my paper trimmer.
That was me.
Oh, you moved my paper trimmer? I was like, where did that thing go? Hefty duty paper trimmer here. We're going to do a straight cut, of course. And I'm just going to follow that line, cut it once at the center. And I will say this dark blue is a little harder even than black. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Often black is a lot easier. You can see the pencil line, but this blue can sometimes be it. Which again, do the little dance, do the little slide dance if needed. You can, slide, flip.
We'll add the cut it up the middle as one of the.
Oh yeah, cut it up the middle as part of the dance. Oh boy.
Slide, flip, and the cut it up the
cut
middle.
It in the middle.
You guys, I'm gonna pop in. Just put my face next to hers. You hear my voice all the time, and it's a little weird to just hear a voice. This is me. I'm here hanging out.
Done. Oh my goodness, look how cute. So cute. All right, well, that is kind of, I would actually probably an orange little strip here to help, because I didn't do the green on that, which I think the green could still be cute. But I will say I probably would add just a little insight there. I probably add a little orange strip here pull that orange over, finish it up. But we're going to finish this page up at the PJ Playdate. I just wanted to share with you some quick dynamite tips on creating dinosaurs of any kinds. We're going to just call them all dinosaurs because I don't know what they are. But we were educated at the same time of being creative. Wow, I love that. That's so great. I am still spacing plates. I'm like trying to remember, but I agree with you. It's kind of a dumb.
We'll call them spikes.
Yeah, I think spikes.
They're spikes.
We'll just change it because we can. Because we can. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on this lovely Tuesday. And don't forget, if you're not a club member yet, make sure to sign up. We'd love to have you part of the club. And, you get to play to create with this exciting kit this month. So 3 days only. Like I said, a lot of you guys have been asking. Don't miss it this time. We don't often do promos on the sign up, but new year and new opportunities to actually finish some pages. Let's finish some pages and have fun at the same time doing it. And club members, make sure to sign up for the events, the PJ Playdate, the Picture Perfect for sure. This month in April, I know how fast the months can, fill up. Our calendars can fill up. So put the me back into free time, sign up for those, and go download the digital idea book. Flip through the whole thing and just feel all that inspiration. And then once you're inspired by one little detail, if it's just a dinosaur, then just go and create that and see your page start coming to life. All right, guys, take care, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye now.